What's up guys, Rand Racer here with another tech video for you guys today, and today I bring you guys a little retro unboxing and a little quick review of the 3rd generation iPod Classic that was released way back in 2003. And I'm not really in the market of collecting all the old iPods, but just a couple of them that I've always wanted, and this one is definitely one I've most wanted out of the older lines from the early 2000s. But anyways, without further ado, let's do a little quick unboxing. It took about a week to deliver. The ship from the UK, so I have to say a week from the UK is pretty decent. And let's see, first we got bubble wrap. We got some couple accessories that was actually included in the iPod itself. Anyways, so let's take a quick look. Let's see, more bubble wrap, and here's the iPod itself. This is the 3rd generation iPod. Before I continue, and the other things that we do get with it, these aren't original to the iPod of course, but we do get some authentic Apple headphones. Always nice to have a backup version of these, as well as another set of USB sync cable, or USB to 3-pin connector sync cable, which I have way too many of these. But nonetheless, I think it's fired up, or powered up. See, take the whole button there, and it works. Alright, so here's the iPod itself, and you guys can see here, it's definitely a little bit a different configuration that, you know, what we all think of the iPod, at least with the one with the click wheel these days. But anyways, this is the 3rd generation iPod Classic that I mentioned earlier, and this is the last generation before Apple integrated all these little controls on here onto the click wheel itself. And the reason why I wanted the 3rd generation iPod, because I thought it was the coolest one out of everything else. Even the 1st generation, I thought this was the coolest one, and it's one that I was always wanted for the past few years now. I just never, I always browse eBay, you know, once in a while to find one, but just never a really good deal, or the one that I really wanted. And the ones I do want that are like way too much money, or the bid goes up too high. I finally picked up one for a decent deal, retail for, or at auction for 79 euros, which I won, which was a pretty decent deal. And even though it didn't come with anything, it's a very, very good condition. I know it's not like perfect. You guys can see here, little minor scratches in here and there, and but nonetheless, the fact that this thing is 9 years old and opened, used, and everything, it's in immaculate condition. I don't know what the hell the original owner did, but he must have had this thing in a case or something for pretty much most of its life. But anyways, this is the 40 gigabyte model. You guys can see here, this was the top of line one you can get at the time, and one of my favorite features of it, of course, is the layout of it. This is all buttonless design. The only button on this iPod is actually the hold switch on the top here. And it's all touch capacitive, which is really cool, very, very responsive. It was also one of the first iPods, I believe, to have a backlit display, which is also a nice added touch. Speaking about display, this was a monochrome display, no color display, and pretty much this iPod did one thing and one thing only, and that was to play music. There's no video, no pictures, no Facebook, no Angry Birds. I believe the color iPod, or the iPod Photo, didn't come out till a year later in 2004, and that's when it had the color display, and of course the the infamous Apple click wheel that we have today. But anyways, yeah, it's a pretty cool design. It's the only iPod that has these kind of lit up controls here, which I always thought was pretty cool. 40 gigabytes. They ranked it as about 7,500 songs, maybe a little bit more than that. But at the time, that was, you know, that was kind of the highlight of this iPod. That could have tons of music. Anyways, speaking about music, in terms of the interface itself, it's pretty much identical to what we have today, except, you know, not as colorful. Got the music, artists, playlists, albums, all that stuff. And it even had a on-the-go playlist too, which I don't know if it's new or not, but I see that on the iPhone. And pretty much what that does, you can make your own playlist on the iPod, which is kind of cool. And but yeah, if you go back, just hit the menu button there. Just like on the modern iPods, to kind of put it in sleep mode, you just hold the play button, and it goes to sleep. Pretty cool. And you just hit another button to go back. So yeah, that's the song stuff. In terms of extras, it does have a few little extra things. You got a clock, as you see here, alarm clock as well. Got your contacts. Whoops. Well, this is calendar here. Nothing too spectacular. You got contacts. I don't think I have anything. There's a sample, I guess. And guys, then right here, it does have the clicky noise like all the other iPods. You can turn that off, which is nice for some people who hate it. You got notes, which I never use on the iPods, on the Nano and the other one I had. And you do have a couple games here. Brick, music quiz, I don't even know what that is. Parachute, and solitaire. So just, you know, little minor games that'll probably keep you busy for a minute. But yeah, what it does is to play music. No extra stuff, no junk like that we had today on the current iPods, iPhones, and iPod Touches. Here's a little quick overview of the exterior of the device. We got the touch sensor controls that we mentioned, the monochrome display, which actually is slightly a lot more crisper than the previous generations, the first and second gen. Speaking of the first and second gen, this is actually Apple's first actual like fully redesigned iPod. The first and second generation iPods were pretty much identical in terms of design, but this is, you know, Apple's like first full take on a redesign. Apple's infamous chrome back here, which is once you take it out of the packaging, instantly scratches, and I'm really surprised Apple still uses this type of back. Like, you think they at least put like a coating or something on it, because these things scratch instantly, which really a bummer. It looks nice at first, but once it's all scratched up, it looks kind of, you know, not very nice. This was also the first iPod that integrated the 30-pin connector, which is new at the time, so you can sync and charge your iPod at the same time. For USB, you can only sync music and stuff on the USB, or on this particular iPod here. You can't charge via USB. You have to have a FireWire cable to charge, which I do have, thankfully. And yeah, it's the first iPod that integrated this 30-pin. On top here, we got the hold switch, which hasn't really changed much over the years. We got these little two ports here. That's obviously the headphone jack, which is nice dead center there, which is I believe the 4th generation iPod was the last one to actually do that before Apple moved them all to the left or right side. But yeah, I kind of wish Apple kind of kept it in the center on, you know, the current stuff, which would have been kind of cool. You could say it's an Apple thing if they kept it in the center. But for me, what it looks like with the center, I guess it looks kind of funny because all other kind of MP3 players these days have it on the left or right side. But if you just plug it in here, that's what it looks like on the center here. I guess it's kind of retro looking. Anyways, if you're wondering what this particular port here, that's for like an accessory like Griffin's iTrip, which is like an FM transmitter. Apple also had a remote thing that plugs in there as well, so you can use a remote on the headphone. But yeah, that's what that port there is for, and that was dropped in the 5th generation iPod. Other than that, that's pretty much it. Not a whole lot. No volume rockers, anything like that. It's just an iPod. And yeah, because it's a 30 or 40 gigabyte, it is the biggest one out of all of them, also most top of the line one, and retail for a staggering, I believe, $499 at the time. But you did get a whole lot of stuff with it. You got a case, got a dock, like this one here. You got a whole lot of stuff with it that we don't get these days with any Apple product. But anyways, yeah, the 10 gigabyte iPod 3rd generation was actually thinner than this slightly, but 40 gigs was, you know, generally the higher capacity you go, the thicker the iPods are. But that's the size of it, and as you guys, I don't know if I showed you guys earlier, but anyways, here's my iPhone 4S. In terms of thickness, again, it's like half the thickness, so it's not, for 2003, this is pretty thin, but in comparison nowadays, it's a little bit fat compared to everything else. But anyways, yeah, that's not much else to say about this. In terms of buying stuff off eBay, it's pretty much the only place you can get this, which is off eBay. You can try Kijiji, Craigslist, but not a lot of people are selling these things. And but yeah, also the seller did install a brand new battery in here, which is supposed to be slightly better than the old one, so it's kind of nice. I can actually use this and, you know, enjoy it, because, you know, it's the point of buying something, and if you can't use it and have a bit of fun with it. And yeah, it's a pretty cool device. I always wanted one of these, and I finally got one, and it'll definitely be a little, I guess, a little collectible, you could say. Anyways, but yeah, I'm pretty happy with this. The fact that it's 9 years old in this condition is pretty amazing, so I'm pretty happy with what I got here. I kind of wish I got the packaging and all the extra stuff that came with, or the original stuff that came with it, but this is the main thing, so I'm pretty happy with that. Anyways, that's pretty much it for this video. Hope you guys enjoy this, of my little retro review and unboxing of the iPod 3rd generation. This is the 40 gigabyte model. Thanks for watching, guys. Hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I'll see you all next vid. Peace.